guys, Carolina Bass Angler here, and today in this video I'm going to be showing you the difference between a pitch and a flip. Now, a lot of people say a pitch is this, like this right here, and a lot of people get it mixed up. But I'm going to show you the correct way to do it, and what it is, and how I would attack a situation where I would use this. A situation where I would use this is grass, like if I see like some structure, like if I was throwing up on the bank. I'm not gonna do this in deep water. I'm just gonna throw it up like to where I can, like I'm gonna pitch up to this log or the stump or whatever, and I'm gonna throw into this grass, and I'm gonna work my bait. But what I do with a pitch, a pitch is what most people do nowadays. Some people will do a flip, but a pitch is as simple as 1, 2, 3. So you take your bait, and you put it about right there at your reel. You grab it. Make sure you don't grab it to where if you don't have the thing, push down and it hooks you in the finger. It's not fun. I've had it happen. So you just put it right at your reel, like I grabbed the end of the worm, and the faster you move your tip, the farther it's going to go. So if I want it to go like 6 feet out in front of me, I just do it real fast, and or whatever I do, move at a certain speed and throw it out there. So you just grab it. I like to start up here at 12 o'clock, move down to 3 o'clock, go all the way down, and some people go from side. I like to go just down and like that. So real fast, you can go like this, like this, like this, but don't move your arm so much. Just move your wrist, pop your wrist kind of. So that's the pitch. The flip is, you want to go the length of your rod. This is a 7 foot, so I'm going to go about a few more inches down to about right there. That's a good length. Pull out about that much line to my reel and throw it out there. The distance between you and your spot determines on how much you're going to let out. So if it's about 7.5 feet in front of me, I'm going to go about right there and go like this to where it's right there at my reel, or right there at it. Then I'm going to not leave it free spooling like I would a pitch. So with the flip, I'm going to keep it locked down, and I'm just going to go like this, and it's going to be real quiet. You don't do it real fast and go skadoosh. You just do it real nice and soft. Throw it in there, get it a few strokes, and I'll do this when I'm lake fishing. I won't do it much when I'm pond fishing unless I'm on a boat in ponds. But this is a pitch. And this is a flip. So it's kind of weird. I feel like it should be moved around, the names, but yeah. Something I said I would something I would say I was something that I didn't tell you at the beginning. I'm gonna tell you here's some baits that you can use when you're pitching and flipping. A beaver style bait, my favorite is the Zoom Z-Craw. It's a good flipping bait. I like to fish it around structure, stumps, throw it alongside stand-up timber. Just a really good bait. A Texas rig, you can peg them, or you don't have to. I like to keep them free. With this, I'm not really dragging it, so I don't need that sensitivity, really. You just need the action of your bait, and you get bit. So, I like to use braided line when I'm Texas rig fishing, just because it gives me more sensitivity because of the zero stretch. It gives me a good feeling of everything that I'm throwing around. If I be dragging a Texas rig, popping it off the bottom, throwing a Senko or whatever, that's what I'll do. A weightless Senko is good for pitching and flipping. Like you won't like flip a crankbait or anything like that. So, like soft plastic baits mostly. Jigs. I love flipping a jig around stumps. One of my favorite techniques. My first is Carolina rigging. But you can't really throw a pitch or flip a Carolina rig. It's gonna be kind of like a Texas rig, a jig, weightless Senkos and stuff like that. So those are some tips for pitching and flipping. It depends on what you're doing, the cover that you're fishing, what you're around. Really, we can have anything here where I live. We can have thick grass. We can have just as clear water as you can see for 30 foot down. Or you can just have where I live around. Where I live around, it can be a combination of everything. So, one of the most all-around rods that I like to use for this technique and almost everything except my crankbaits, my jerk baits, and stuff like that, and my lighter stuff, is I like to fish a 7-foot medium heavy. This is a Ducky Ghost. Here's the model. It's a DFGG 7070 70 whatever MH dash C. So that's a 7-foot medium heavy. I got 50-pound Power Pro braid. Go with the heaviest line you can, but pay attention with braid and fluorocarbons is the diameter of the fishing line. This has a 12-pound diameter, and they say this is a really good reel for 12-pound test. So I went with 50-pound braid. I went with the heaviest thing I could go with. A lot of people say, oh, you can only get 30-pound braid or 40-pound braid because that's the best. I like to go with the heaviest line. Just look at the diameter. So this is a good line for this. Just because it's castable. I'm reaching that soybean field out there, and that's probably about 100 yards away. So there's a soybean field. We're out in the country where my grandparents live, so but yeah, that's my setup. I like to use a 6/8 to 1 with almost everything except my crankbaits. And my really heavy cover stuff, I like to go with a 7-foot, a 7-speed reel. But yeah, those are some tips and the setup and the baits that I use for pitching and flipping. And that's how you pitch and flip, and that's the difference between a pitch and flip. So this is Carolina Bass Angler signing out. I'll see you in the next video.